Making the worst deck of Yu-Gi-Oh, or a deck of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that's like playing on hard mode. The Immortal of Thunder. Basically, you flip this card to get 3,000 life points. But if this fool were to get destroyed, you lose 5,000 life points. The Bistro Butcher. This fool got 18k attack, but when he inflicts damage to your opponent draws 2 cards. Flash Assailant basically decreases the attack and defense of this monster by 400 points for every card in your hand. A reverse slifer, what the heck? Giant Orc. He has good attack, but if he attacks, he goes into defense at the end of the turn and can't change back until the end of your next turn. Zone Eater. A monster attacked by this card will be destroyed during the end phase of the 5th turn after the attack. So this fool literally has to wait for his effect to work. Boar Soldier. Literally, this card has to be summoned in defense position first, because if you were to summon this card in attack position like normal, it destroys itself. So you got to have it face down first, and then the second effect that makes it worse, if your opponent has any monster on the field while he's up, then he loses 1,000 points. I was like, oh my god. So literally, I think this is the worst card in the deck. Literally, you have to keep it down first, and then after it comes back up, if it doesn't get destroyed by that time, and your opponent doesn't have any monsters, then literally you have a 2k header. But if there's any monsters on the field, literally it's only 1,000. The Wicked Worm Beast. This card returns to your hand at the end of the turn, so you won't even have field protection by the end after your first attack with this guy. Mushroom Man 2 literally burns you 300 points every turn this guy is on the field, but he has a second effect. If you get rid of 500 of your own life points, you can give it to your opponent. For what? Like, for him to have an extra monster to sacrifice to summon something bigger? Then I got Fairy Guardian. It could tribute itself to return a spell. Well, it says magic, but a spell card from the grave back to the bottom of your deck, but it has to be destroyed that turn while using his effect. Nova the Wicked. This is basically like Boar Soldier, but its last effect isn't as bad. If this monster is summoned by a normal summon, it's destroyed. So basically, you can't even summon this thing. It has to be flipped, just like Boar. But the second effect isn't as bad, where it says it decreases his attack by 200 points for every monster your opponent controls. So that's not that bad, because Boar was, no matter if it was 1 or more, just drop it down to 1,000. So there's this guy. Wretched Ghost of the Attic. Literally a vanilla Karibo. No special effect to help. Instead of a Monster Reborn, it's a Call of the Haunted. Instead of a Pot of Greed, I got Jar of Greed. Instead of using Mystical Space Typhoon, I'm using a D-Spell for spell removal and Remove Trap for trap removal. And instead of cards like Regeki to get rid of the field for free, I got cards of Offering of the Doom to skip your next draw phase to destroy 1 monster, or Soul Taker, pay 1,000 life points to destroy 1 monster. Then I got this trap card, Blasting the Ruins. If like 30 of my cards are already in the graveyard, if I could survive that long, then I can burn my opponent for 3,000. Lastly, because every monster in here has bad effects, I got Skill Drain. Basically pay 1,000 life points to negate all face-up monsters' effects, including mine, so my opponent's and mine. So this is basically the worst deck ever, or deck on hard mode. So I'm just trying to figure out, I took these ones out because they just made the game unplayable. This one basically made your opponent get 2 battle phases. This one just destroyed what you controlled. And this was like a reverse pot of greed where you can return like 2 cards to the deck. And this actually did work one time when I was using that Shadow Ghoul that Rebecca uses when I had a Shadow Ghoul in here. But I'm changing the deck, so I got rid of these 3 and that Shadow Ghoul. And now this is the worst deck ever. And if you guys can think of any bad cards that have bad effects, leave them in the comment. Thank you.